Chelsea game against Manchester United yesterday started as a disaster, even before the game started proper, as Sanchez error, another massive error from Sanchez, cost Chelsea that very game. When you start a game, you come into that game with a plan. And despite the fact that Manchester United were already dominating that game from the beginning of that very game, all Chelsea needed was to find their ground in order to be able to get back into the game. And there, boom, Sanchez error came and he was sent off. I read some people saying that it was not really Sanchez's fault, that it was the fault of Chelsea defenders that failed in the attempt to contest the ball with Sesko. But that was not the case. Sanchez was not actually on his right senses, and I will give you 3 reasons. Number 1, where he was at the time that ball was contested between Chalobah and Sesko was not where he was supposed to be. That is number 1. Number 2 is that there was no reason whatsoever for him to have tackled Mbeumo in the manner that he did. And the number 3 was that 2 of Chelsea defenders were already closing in on Mbeumo when he had that ball. So there was no need of him rushing out like a mad bull to come and commit that horrendous error that he did that led to his sending off. So when you are playing against Manchester United, I remember I made a video right before that very game that despite the fact that Manchester United are struggling at the moment, but you can never write them off whenever they are playing against Chelsea. So it's always tough whenever you're facing Manchester United, especially at Old Trafford. You expect them to put in their best, even if they knew that Chelsea was the favourite to win that game. And you had Sanchez, who on a platter of gold gave Manchester United the victory last night. A lot of people were actually blaming Enzo Maresca for taking off 3 of his attackers, in Estavo William, Pedro Neto, and of course Cole Palmer. But they have to understand that this is a game that Chelsea needed to inject more energy in the midfield. That was why they did those substitutions. And for the case of Cole Palmer was not really into that game. He was not really fit, according to what was reported after the game. So you don't expect an unfit player to continue under such intensive circumstance. So that was why Cole Palmer was removed. And you can see as they introduced Andre Santos, that was when Chelsea began to even kick the ball around in the game. That was when they began to come back into the game. So it was a good substitution on the part of Enzo Maresca. But I felt that when Manchester United was eventually reduced to 10 men, that Enzo Maresca was supposed to have, switched his defense in the game, because he was already playing 3 centre halves in that game. So I thought he would have switched to two centre halves and injected an attacker in that very game, but he never did. So, and the Chelsea continued to play the ball, continued to dominate possession without having any real impact in the attack until Chalobah eventually got that 1 goal, during the dying minute of the game. So that game was lost. Immediately, Sanchez was sent off in the 5 minutes of that very game. If you look at Chelsea's 2 previous fixtures, you find out that they drew against Brentford, they lost against FC Bayern, and that Manchester United game represented an opportunity for them to really start all over again, and they lost all 3 points at Old Trafford. A lot of tongues have started wagging saying that Chelsea is not really what people think they are and everything, but in football, mistakes can happen. All Chelsea need to do right now is to pick up the pieces, and begin to, deliver results on a consistent basis, starting from their next game. There is no room for excuses. Chelsea has the players to really bounce back and have a successful season. But as for Sanchez, I said it repeatedly that Chelsea needed to sign a goalkeeper when the transfer window was still open. I was emphasizing on this. Even at Chelsea, we are going out there looking for players to sign. I was hammering on Sanchez. Sanchez, don't be deceived by his showings at the Club World Cup. Go out there and get a goalkeeper. You needed a world-class goalkeeper. Donnarumma was out there, looking to leave PSG. Chelsea had the opportunity to sign him. They never went for him. Goalkeepers win you points. Goalkeeper is very, very important to any title-winning side. At Chelsea, you have Sanchez and you have Jorgensen as his backup. These 2 can never get you anywhere. We are done with the disappointment. There is no need of being too disappointed. It was a game of football. Anything can actually happen. Like I said in my previous video, United has won this one, and kudos to them. So all we need to do right now is for Chelsea to pick up the pieces and start winning games, starting from the next game.